Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show. We do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast. But if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines and what we're tracking out for the next couple of days. Well, tonight we do have that chance for, again, a few scattered showers, maybe even a few isolated thunderstorms, mainly overnight into very early tomorrow morning. And then we should be mostly dry through tomorrow afternoon outside of a pop-up shower or storm due to the heating of the day. So most of the rain we're expecting for Monday, that's going to be falling overnight tonight into very early tomorrow morning. And then we'll have several more waves of showers and storms throughout next week. But I think also another story that we're going to be tracking out here is going to be that summer-like heat and the potential for even a couple of record breakers headed into next week as well. And then by the time we get into next weekend, we'll have another cold front slide through here on Saturday. That is going to cool those temperatures down by the second half of the weekend. So looking at next Sunday, much cooler than what we were experiencing today. But taking a look at the radar across the country, we've got this area of low pressure that's streaming north of the Great Lakes right now. And just below that, we have this little kink or a shortwave vorticity that's kind of moving through the upper levels of the atmosphere. So that's kicking up a couple of spotty showers and mostly just showers, not even really tracking out any thunderstorms here. But we do have a couple of those light showers there in southern Illinois. They're going to be streaming in from southwest to northeast overnight tonight. So we may get a couple of sprinkles here over the next couple of hours. And then as the overnight hours kind of wear on into early tomorrow morning, we'll have that chance for, again, a couple of more isolated storms as that low continues to pass to our north. So tracking that all out here through the rest of the night tonight and into early tomorrow morning, I think the best chances for any spotty shower or thunderstorm activity will be primarily after midnight tonight. And then a lot of that will kind of scoot off to our east and then move back in from the south over portions of western Kentucky early tomorrow morning, and then remaining largely dry through tomorrow afternoon. Again, we could catch a couple of spot showers or an isolated storm just due to the heating of the day, but a lot of us stay dry outside of the morning hours. And we'll even see a return of some of that sunshine, and then after that sun sets, we lose that daytime heating element, and then we start to see those showers and storms fizzle out once again. Luckily, we're not too concerned with any severe weather tonight or tomorrow. A lot of that stays well off to our west, even through much of next week. I know we were talking about maybe some strong or even a severe storm possible towards the middle and end of next week, but even then, it looks like the ingredients have backed off a little bit more to our west. So I'll show you that in a moment. But taking a look at tonight, again, 30% chance of some of those showers after midnight. Again, an isolated thunderstorm can't be ruled out. Temperatures will be pretty mild, dropping down into the upper 60s overnight tonight. And with gusty winds out of the southwest, we could still see temperatures climbing all the way into the lower 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Gusts up to 25 miles per hour will be possible. Today, we topped out at around 83 degrees. I was expecting maybe another 2 degrees higher for our forecast for today, but those clouds kind of filled in a little bit sooner than expected, so that kind of tampered down on a lot of those warmer temperatures, but still very warm regardless. And that cloud cover, in addition to those southerly winds, will keep things on the warmer side tonight. We've only dropped down into the low to mid 70s across the tri-state, 71 out towards Dundee, 75 here in Evansville and Henderson, sitting at around 76 up towards Mount Carmel. And taking a look at the next 12 hours, you can see again the best chance for a spotty shower or a storm will be overnight tonight, mainly after midnight, and then most of us should be dried out by the mid to late morning hours with a few spotty showers or an isolated storm possible by the middle and end of the day. But winds will still be fairly gusty, gusting upwards of 25 miles per hour overnight and headed into tomorrow morning. But looking at our rain chances here, we mentioned, almost daily chances for showers and storms, but it looks like a lot of that is kind of consolidated into 3 key days here. First one is going to be moving through tonight into tomorrow morning, and then I think we stay mostly dry Tuesday and during the day on Wednesday. It's not until we get into the overnight hours Wednesday and throughout the day on Thursday that we'll see another good chance for at least some scattered showers or some thunderstorms, and then we dry out again for Friday before another cold front slides in here Saturday evening, and that'll cool us down and dry us out for the second half of next weekend. So here's kind of what that looks like on our longer range European model. A lot of those showers and storms stay to the north of the tri-state there on Tuesday and even on Wednesday, also back to our west. We were originally tracking out maybe that potential for an isolated strong to severe storm with some of those showers and storms moving in from the west, but it looks like they don't come together with all the ingredients better off to the west there. So we're not expecting severe weather at this time, but we will have lingering showers and even an isolated storm possible headed into the day on Thursday, but then we dry out completely for our Friday, and temperatures will soar as we have warmer air coming in from the south out ahead of that next cold front moving in for Saturday evening there, and that'll clear out overnight into early Sunday morning and then cool us back down to right around average for this time of year. Taking a look at that severe thunderstorm risk, I showed this yesterday for Wednesday. This area of yellow indicates that level 2 slight risk for some severe storms. And if you remember, that was often shoved off to the east a little bit farther, and it included portions of our southern Illinois counties. However, that has now completely pushed off to our north and west. It hardly even includes the St. Louis area at this point in time. So that is backed off. I was kind of expecting that. It didn't really look like those storms would be holding together, but we'll keep an eye on things, especially with these frontal boundaries that are moving in and out of here, especially multiple throughout the work week. There can be a lot of little tweaks and changes that do make a difference in terms of strength and severity of any storms, but right now we're not too concerned about that. We don't have any alert days on the board, and we're not outlooked for any severe weather, but we are outlooked for the potential for maybe some isolated spots of flooding. We're not looking at widespread areas of flooding here. Your typical spots that are flood prone, like poor drainage areas, low-lying areas. If you get a heavier thunderstorm to move through or multiple to move over the same locations, you may develop some ponding on the roadways and some minor flooding, but we're not expecting too much of an impact out of that for Wednesday. Because looking at the rainfall here over the next 7 days, so over the course of this week, we only really pick up anywhere between a half an inch up to an inch of rain. So it's not going to be a whole lot, especially for an entire week. So we have been fairly dry recently. We are in a major rainfall deficit, not only for the year, but just for this month alone. And that is definitely being represented here in our drought monitor. We have that moderate to severe drought over portions of western Kentucky and moderate drought over areas of southern Illinois. The rest of the tri-state looking at abnormally dry, which is that indicated by that yellow color. And taking a look at the April stats so far, we didn't get any rainfall so far yet for today, and for the month we've only picked up around 0.43 inches, which for this point in the month we're running around 1.25 inches behind schedule. And then for the entire year we're running around 4.25 inches below average. However, what is well above average is our temperatures, where our average temperature has been around 62.5 degrees so far for this year, or excuse me, for this month, and that is around 8.4 degrees above where we should be. So certainly warm, definitely has been feeling more like June out there as opposed to April. And it looks like we'll continue to feel those almost summer-like temperatures through much of next week. We'll hang out in the low to mid 80s, even a few points we could be touching the upper 80s, especially by the time we get into Friday. That looks like the warmest day of the work week here. And I can show you we actually are going to be getting close to tying, if not breaking, some of those records. Right now our forecast highs for Tuesday and Wednesday sit at around 86 degrees. The previous records for those days are also 86 degrees. On Tuesday, that record was set back in 2010, and on Wednesday, that record was just set only 2 years ago, back in 2024. And then looking ahead to Friday, that warmest day of the work week, 88 is our forecast. The previous record also 88 degrees, but that was set all the way back in 1977. So definitely going to be very warm out there. I know a lot of you warm weather lovers are probably rejoicing here in the comments. So some exciting stuff, maybe not so exciting for other folks who prefer the colder weather. But let me go ahead and take a look at some of the comments. Ricky Brown says, hello, Michael. He is loving this weather. I'm loving it too. I'm not a cold weather fan. I definitely prefer the warmer days. I even prefer a little bit of humidity. I know that's a hot take, but I kind of like it when it's a little bit soupy outside. Zach says, good evening. Good evening to you. There's massive flooding up in northern Michigan at Sheboygan. They're afraid that water is going up over the dam. They had 15 pumps running to help the water, but it is still rising. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's probably from all the rain they've been getting today. They had that warm front lift through. There was definitely a widespread area of rainfall up there across Michigan. So hopefully they can get that water to go back down and they aren't experiencing too much in the way of flooding for the next couple of days. But it does look like a pretty active wet pattern sets up more to our north and to our west. So that does include areas of the Great Lakes region. So hopefully we don't see too much in the way of flooding. They've already dealt with a lot of flooding, especially in southern and central Michigan. I know last week, or at least 2 weeks ago, they were dealing with that as well. David Babb says, hello. Hello to you too. Carolyn says, watching from Hobstad, love this beautiful weather. I am loving it as well. Cheyenne says, good evening to you. And Corinna says, hello, Mr. Michael, and hello to you as well. But that's all I see here for comments and questions. So I am going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. It looks like James says this is cornhole and camping weather. Yeah, this is typical, more so for June rather than April. It's definitely a nice little early start to summer here, but we are going to cool back down by the end of next weekend. You can see temperatures go from 80 on Saturday, then after that cold front, we go back down into the lower 60s. So a little bit of a brief reality check, but looking at a lot of the models, it looks like we'll continue to warm up or at least remain above average even towards the middle of the month of April. So continue to enjoy that cornhole and camping if you can. But I am going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, have a great rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.